Why is it that a man can say I love you and still betray you? Why is it that commitment is spoken with the mouth but broken in secret? Why do some men risk families, futures, and purpose for moments that don't last? Is it just desire? Is it just temptation? Or is there something deeper, something most people are afraid to confront? Listen carefully. Cheating is not just a behavior, it is a symptom. And until we deal with the root, we will keep treating the surface. For generations, across cultures, across nations, even in the pages of American history, you will find stories of great men who built legacies, yet struggled in their private lives. Powerful men, influential men, respected men, and yet flawed. Not because they lacked intelligence, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lacked mastery over certain internal forces. And today we must be honest. This conversation is not about blaming one gender. It is about understanding patterns. Because when you understand patterns, you can break cycles. And when you break cycles, you change destinies. Let's establish this truth. A man does not cheat suddenly. He cheats gradually. Long before the action, there is a mindset. Long before the act, there is a pattern. Long before the betrayal, there is a breakdown. Cheating is not just physical. It begins in thoughts. It grows in habits. It is fueled by unchecked desires, unresolved wounds, and untrained discipline. And there are 8 real reasons, often ignored, that drive this behavior. The 8 real reasons most people ignore. 1. Lack of self-mastery. The first and greatest reason is this: a man who cannot control himself will eventually betray himself and others. Desire is natural, but discipline is learned. Without self-control, a man becomes a slave to impulse, and a man ruled by impulse cannot be trusted with commitment. Unaddressed loneliness, unhealed wounds, unmet emotional needs. Instead of confronting the emptiness, some men try to escape it. But you cannot fill an internal void with external distractions. 3. Ego and validation. There are men who do not cheat because they lack love at home. They cheat because they crave validation outside. Attention becomes addictive, compliments become fuel, and suddenly, one is not enough because the ego is hungry. 4. Opportunity without accountability. Put any undisciplined person in an environment with opportunity and no consequences, and their character will be tested. Some men cheat simply because they can. No accountability, no structure, no boundaries. And what is not controlled will eventually control you. 5. Broken identity. A man who does not know who he is will act like anything. Identity shapes behavior. If a man sees himself as undisciplined, he will act accordingly. If he sees himself as honorable, he will protect that identity. Cheating often reveals a man who has not defined himself properly. 6. Poor relationship communication. Silence creates distance. Distance creates disconnection. Disconnection creates vulnerability. When issues are not addressed, they don't disappear. They grow. And some men, instead of fixing the relationship, escape it. 7. Addiction to novelty. There is something in human nature that is drawn to what is new, but maturity teaches you to value depth over novelty. Some men never outgrow the need for newness. They chase excitement instead of building meaning. 8. Lack of consequence awareness. Many men cheat because they only see the moment, not the aftermath. They see pleasure, but not pain. They see excitement, but not destruction. When a man fully understands the cost of his actions, he thinks differently. Let me paint a picture. Imagine a man building a house. Strong foundation, solid walls, beautiful structure. But hidden beneath, there are cracks. Small cracks, unnoticed, ignored, unrepaired. At first, nothing happens. The house stands. Everything looks fine. But over time, pressure builds, storms come, and one day, the house collapses. Not because of the storm, but because of the cracks that were never addressed. Cheating is often the collapse, but the real issue was the cracks. Deep revelation. Here is the truth many don't want to hear. Cheating is not just about betrayal. It is about lack of internal alignment. When a man's values, his thoughts, and his actions do not agree, he becomes divided within himself, and a divided man is unstable. Integrity is not just what you do in public, it is what you maintain in private. And until a man becomes whole within himself, no relationship can fix what is broken inside. So what must be done? First, self-awareness. A man must examine himself honestly. No excuses, no blame, no denial. Second, discipline. Control your mind. Control your habits. Control your environment. Third, communication. Speak. Address issues. Fix what can be fixed. Fourth, identity. Decide who you are, not based on feelings, but based on principles. Because once identity is clear, behavior follows. Listen, lives have been broken because of this. Families destroyed, trust shattered, children affected. This is not just about a mistake. This is about patterns that must be broken. Because every action has a ripple effect, and what you do in secret echoes in the lives of others. So the question is not just, why do men cheat? The real question is, what kind of man are you becoming? A disciplined man cannot be easily destroyed. A man with clarity will not be easily distracted. A man with purpose will not trade destiny for moments. A man with identity will not compromise for attention. You will rise above impulse. You will develop self-mastery. You will become a man of integrity. You will align your actions with your values. A man who conquers himself can be trusted with anything. But let that truth settle deeper than motivation. Let it confront you. Because self-conquest is not a slogan. It is a lifelong war. It is a war you fight in silence. A war you fight when no one is watching. A war you fight in your thoughts before it ever shows in your actions. And here is the danger. Many men want the rewards of discipline without the process of discipline. They want loyalty without self-control. They want respect without consistency. They want legacy without sacrifice. But life does not respond to what you desire. Life responds to what you demonstrate consistently. Let me go deeper. Every man is building something, whether he realizes it or not. You are either building trust or eroding it. You are either strengthening your character or weakening it. You are either becoming dependable or becoming unpredictable. And the truth is, people may not see your private decisions immediately, but they will feel the impact eventually. Because character leaks. It shows up in your tone. It shows up in your habits. It shows up in your consistency, or lack of it. Now hear this. Cheating is not just a relationship issue. It is a character issue. And character is not developed in moments of convenience. Character is developed in moments of decision. The decision to say no when it is easier to say yes. The decision to walk away when it is easier to indulge. The decision to stay committed when it is easier to escape.